Hey guys, I'm Dan Rodgers with the Key Leadership Inc. and I'm excited about what we get to talk about today. We're going to talk about changing your average. Changing your average. Stick around for just a minute and we will get started. We're going to talk about changing your average. What does that mean? Sometimes in our business life, as we grow as professionals in our personal, professional, or financial education and development, we get to a point where we realize we are the smartest person in our room. We realize that the average of the 5 people that we are hanging around the most, we know the statement from Jim Rohn, where he talks about you are the average of the 5 people that you hang around the most. We know that story, and so we know that statement. And so we know that we have to make sure we are changing that, we are willing to change that average. Sometimes we get to a room and we realize that I am the smartest person in that room, and we realize that I am the average of the 5 people that I'm hanging around the most. And we realize now I must make the decision to change my average. There's 2 thoughts I want to give you today as we get into this idea of changing your average. Number 1, we must be humble enough to realize I need to change my average. You see, because when we realize that I am the smartest person in the room, there could be some pride involved in that, but we have to make sure we realize it also takes a level of humility to realize all of those people that I'm hanging around right now are my new friends, the people that helped me get where I am today. So now I must be humble enough to realize in my life that I need to separate myself in some other way and change my circle and choose to hang around a different average, a higher average. I was talking with my friend Paul, and I remember him telling me the best person to learn how to play basketball from is a professional basketball player. Why? Because they will beat you really, really bad. They will really, really make you want to win more. They think differently, they play basketball differently, and they know how to play basketball better than an amateur. So if you want to live your life like an amateur and be an amateur basketball player, that's okay. If you want to be a mid-level basketball player, that's okay too. But when it gets to a point where we have to change the average of the 5 people that we hang around the most, we must, number 1, be humble. Number 2, we must be willing to make a sacrifice. We must be willing to sacrifice. Remember the cost that it cost you to get where you are today? Do you remember what you had to give up to get where you are today? To qualify to get around those people that you get to hang around now? Do you remember the battles you had to fight internally? The limiting beliefs, all of those things that were internally? Did you know that some limiting beliefs are still in play now that you've decided to change your average? Now that you've decided to hang around different people, it might cost you more money. It might take more time. It might cost you some influence that you currently have. It might even mean you have to sacrifice some of the relationships professionally that you used to have because you decided to change your average. It's very important, and it's a big decision because you will be the average of the 5 people you hang around the most. Look at your paycheck. Look at your results. Look at the sales that you close. Look at all these different things and realize sometimes you get to a point where you realize I need to change my average. Number 1, you need to be humble about it. Number 2, you need to be willing to make that sacrifice internally, externally, financially, wherever it may be. We need to be willing to make that sacrifice to change our average.